Hey guys, welcome to another Lord of Destruction production. Today I'm doing a live test flight of a new idea I've been coding up. As some of you may know, I have a huge interest in flight automation. So I decided that for a proof of concept I would fit a jet with a custom tuned autopilot that uses the same format as the generic autopilot and also does all the same things plus a bit more, but slightly differently. For starters, I've added a Mach throttle and bank limit scaling. Uh, I've already made a video that shows off bank limit scaling, and Mach throttle is self-explanatory. If you really want to see bank limit scaling, then see the link in the description below. What I'm here to show you guys today is a blended form of altitude hold or flight level change, whatever you want to call it. It does performance climb by indicated airspeed in Mach, and then reduces climb rate as it nears the target altitude to gently level out for cruise. Furthermore, maximum descent rate is scaled with ground speed. This is all done in the Autopilot XML file. There is no nasal scripting controlling any of this at all whatsoever. Before I start my flight, I'm going to shift-click some properties in the property browser so that I can monitor them and make sure my code is functioning as intended. Key is target VS FPM. That's basically for the indicated airspeed climb. Basically what is going to work is we have a target vertical speed based on indicated airspeed, Mach, and altitude, with a difference between altitude and target altitude. So they're going to basically all run at the same time. With one sec. LT10K is for property an abbreviation for less than 10,000, means or below 10,000 feet. So what that does is that adjusts the target indicated airspeed for the climb. So below 10,000 feet, FAA limits airspeed to 250 knots. Just be safe, we're going 10 knots below that, because it's probably going to be difficult to get that, absolutely perfect. So when the LT10K is true, the target speed will be 240 knots. Otherwise, it will be 390 knots in this aircraft, in the F4E. And then that's just for the climb rate for based on Mach, which in F4E the target is hard-coded as 0.85 Mach. These two PID controllers have a minimum of 0 and a maximum of 15,000 feet per minute, whereas the altitude-based version has a minimum that's based on ground speed and negative, and a maximum of 15,000 as well. Target rate of climb FPM is the altitude version. It's the altitude-based target climb rate. And those last two are basically outputs from logic controllers as well, like the LT10K, that will basically tell the PID controller that actuates the elevator which vertical speed to use. And the way it finds this out is it uses the one with the smallest value. So what's going to happen is, you know, if I'm climbing at indicated airspeed, out, you know, well, you'll see when I start flying. All right, so basically, it's going to start out anyway, climbing on indicated airspeed, then Mach, and then slowly level out for altitude. Alright, so if you're wondering what the deal is with the change in weather and whatnot, I had some glitches, so I had to take care of, so that took a while. So now, I think I have fixed it. I'm fairly confident that I fixed it, and I'm ready to take off now. I'm just going to do a little check on some things, and then I'll be off the ground. I got the HUD up so that you can see which autopilot modes are active. So, yeah, let's get going. So I have Mach speed hold activated, and Mach throttle. I'm gonna get off the ground and then switch to altitude hold, and when I get up to a safe altitude, which will happen quickly, I'll switch to true heading hold to hopefully my routes. So it just leveled out as I climbed over 10,000. It was holding at less than 250 knots very nicely, and now I'm starting to climb back up again now that I've reached my climbing speed of 390 knots. It's going to adjust the vertical speed to maintain 390 knots for now. switch to using that number for the target rate of climb FPL. Just fixing the number I put in for some reason. It's not switching to altimeter rate, so I had to fix it. Alright, I just got it fixed. So that was weird. I had my oars set up wrong. Some adjustments so the controls were a little more smooth. Altimeter VS and using mod VS are both returning as true. The way I've set it up is that apparently when you're using a conditional input value for the reference value, I guess, or property, whatever, what I have is it's like sort of like a switch statement. And the first one that returns true is the one that gets used, and I've worded so that the first one it checks is altimeter VS and then mod VS, and then if neither of those are true, it uses aka airspeed VS. So since the first one that returns true that it encounters is the altimeter VS, it uses that one, even though the mod VS also returns true. It doesn't even see that one. Alright, we are getting near the tip of descent, which are about 8 miles away from. At that point, I am going to set the target altitude to 5,900 and reduce speed to 250 knots. And then it's going to start descending, and I'll explain the scaled minimum vertical speed, scaled max descent, whatever you want to call it. Alright. Alright, so if you look at the target rate of climb, it's now at negative 3,600 or so feet per minute.